was 7 years old, I was riding my bike in the winter wonderland of Sweden. I found a small hill and I thought to myself, I'm going to ride downhill from there. So obviously at the top, everything felt safe. But at the bottom, at high speed, obviously, I lost control and crashed out. I tumbled and I scraped my knee. So I was sitting in the snow, holding my knee and crying out loud. In the corner of my eye, I saw my mother running down from the same slope because she was to help, obviously, her son. But as soon as I could see her facial expression, she slips, falls, and landed face down on the floor in the snow. She looked up on me, covered in snow, and asked, "Are you okay?" And I started to laugh. I laughed so hard and she laughed with me. We were sitting in the snow just laughing out loud. Today, when I think about this, the only thing I remember was us laughing. What I don't remember was the pain I was in. I didn't think of much of it at the time, but with time and throughout life, I've noticed a couple of things. One crucial thing, that laughter, it trumps pain. Laughter wins over pain every time. Laughter suppresses pain. It's the best medicine we have. My name is Thomas Kaminski, and I'm here today to talk to you and maybe teach you how you all can use comedy in your lives to improve yourself. And the best part about it, you don't even have to be funny. Because the thing is, when we were kids, maybe you remember, we laughed about everything. We ran, we fell, we cried, we laughed, and we continued on life, right? But as adults, we've changed. What would happen if you would slip out in public and fall down to the floor? Most common reaction, people just jump up, brush themselves off, look around, make sure that no one saw them, right? We don't cry, we don't laugh, we go, okay, I don't want to feel that shame, let me move on, right? Have you ever seen a person on a train station or at waiting at the bus running at full speed towards a bus or a train, and as soon as they're about to board, they close the door right in front of them? Maybe you've experienced this yourself. What happens? People brush it off as if that was intentional. No, it wasn't. But you don't want to feel that shame. You don't want to be ridiculed by others. You don't want someone to have that story on you that when they go back home and they go, there was this dude with a hat running towards the train. He looked ridiculous, right? We don't want to feel that. And I think that's so weird. And I think that's the wrong thing to do. Okay? So I've noticed that when we grow up, what happens? As kids, we laugh at everything. But then our parents, well, my mother did at least, she went, "That's not funny. You shouldn't laugh at that. Grow up, be serious." And what happens with us, we feel a little bit of shame, right? We take a step back. We hide it a little bit inside here. And that's the problem because shame, it thrives in silence. It thrives in darkness. That's why we need to talk about it and get it out. That's why we need to laugh about it because that's the light that we need. For some reason, we live in a society that a lot of us, we go, something bad happens, we push it down, I'm strong, right? No, you're not strong. You're just stuck. You haven't moved on. So the thing is that I'm going to talk to you about today is how we can use comedy and laughing at those things to become better selves. I've tried it. It worked. I promise you. By the end of this, hopefully, you will have something with you to go home today. Okay? Because the thing is, we treat laughter as a form of dessert today, right? Time heals all wounds. We've heard that so many times. But that's not really true. I have wounds still that haven't healed. And it's been 40 years almost. So I think that's weird. I don't think that really works right now. So let's stop treating laughter as a dessert and start treating it as the main course of life. We should laugh every day. Kids laugh every day. Adults, sometimes. Right? Because the thing is, what happens when we laugh? It's so interesting. When we laugh, what's the first thing that happens? Our stress hormone, the beautiful cortisol levels, they drop. The other beautiful hormones, endorphins and dopamine, it rises. And what happens to us? We relax, right? We feel good. And that's the feeling we want to have all the time. Because we go to like stand up, we go to comedy shows for relief, to forget the outside world and sometimes the inside world, right? The problem is when we leave the comedy show, the real world comes back to us. And all of a sudden we get that insecure, shameful feeling, which is terrible, I think. Because we know hospitals use comedy as medicine. They use clowns not as decoration, because they know if we can have some laughter, we think more positively. And if we think more positively, it's easier for us to heal rather than being negative. And you all know this by now, I believe. So the thing is, when comedians, we rewired our brains a little bit because we know if we can laugh about it, we can live it. If something bad happens to me or one of my colleagues, we talk about it. First thing they say, oh my God, you need to talk about this on stage. It's good. It can be funny. It can be relatable to people. And that's just that. It's relatable to people, and other people can feel the same thing and go, ah, I'm not the only one with this problem. It's nice. It's a nice feeling. One thing that people notice when they first meet me are my majestic eyebrows. I know you've thought the same thing. And I usually say to people, I know, they're majestic. They have separate Instagram accounts. And when I say this, I show you that I own the narrative. I own the discussion about my eyebrows. They're great. Look at me. I'm surprised. I'm mad. I'm the Rock. Maybe not as muscly, right? Because I know if I can joke about it, I can survive it. It's plain simple. I want to try something with you. Let's see how this goes, all right? I want you to think of a thing that is in here, in this darkness, in this silence. I want you just to think about it. Something, it can be a physical attribute, it can be something you did, it can be something you regret. But I want you to think about it right now, all of you. Got it? You don't have it, sir. I'm kidding. So what happened is some of us are tensing up a little bit. Because what's happening, our beautiful cortisol levels are going up. And some of us are not in the room anymore because we're in here, we're thinking. Okay. So let me kind of leave you a little bit with this feeling, because the thing is, the beautiful thing about this is that you already met the best comedian in the world. Not me. Okay, it's not me. It's yourself when you were 6 years old. Remember when you laughed about everything and anything, spilled milk, falling off a chair, everything was funny. But now we've changed. And that's kind of who I want to drag out a little bit from you. Okay. Because what would happen if you would say those dark things or inner things to that 6-year-old self, your inner child? What would they say? Probably something stupid and funny, right? You beat your pants at work. Hey, that's a Tuesday for me, right? Because our inner child doesn't care about perfection. It just wants to laugh and have a good time. Because the thing is, I've been there with this inside. I've been with that feeling of shame. Because I'm not going to do it right now. But if I would undress right now, I'm not going to do it. Trust me. No. What would happen? You would react like, isn't that the guy who played Chewbacca in Star Wars? Meaning I am quite hairy. So the thing is, for Halloween, I don't get dressed. I undressed and go as a cousin It, right? So it's a big difference. But the thing is, today I can own it. But when I was young growing up, it was terrible. It took control over me. The thing is, like when you hit puberty and you see that your body changes, you look at other and you're like, oh, I'm different. This is not, I'm different. That doesn't feel okay. So what did I do? I covered myself up. Whenever we had classes, like swimming classes, where I had to take my shirt off, I never went. And therefore, I didn't learn how to swim. I never went to the beach because I was ashamed of two things now: not knowing how to swim and how I looked without a shirt on. And this was terrible. So I skipped all those fun things, days at the beach. When I was 26 years old, I decided I need to learn this life skill of learning how to swim because I knew it was important. So I took swim classes 2 hours away from my hometown because God forbid someone saw me without my shirt off. When I was 27, I finally learned how to swim. And that was fantastic. But the thing is, in a Swedish context, so you understand, learning how to swim when you're 27 is like learning how to walk when you're 15, right? Because everyone knows, everyone's a fish in Sweden, apparently. But the problem is, I still didn't go to the pool. I still didn't go to the beach with my friends because I still had one shame left. It wasn't until I actually started doing stand up comedy where I noticed, okay, this is where the real work had to start. Because one of the first thing we learn as comedians is that we take a comedic light and we shine it on ourselves. We look from top to bottom, in and out, on all our insecurities, all our physical shortcomings, everything, and we try to joke about it. And that was obviously very frightening. But the thing is, if I can mock it, no one else can. And therefore, I become bulletproof. And no one's words can actually hurt me because I know all those things about myself. You're just saying the same thing again, right? And you might think, well, Thomas, you're a comedian, you've been doing this. This is easy for you. What about me? I'm an introvert. I'm not going to stand on a stage talk about my deepest inner darkness. I'm not saying you should do that. But the thing is, this works because I've tried it with other people. A couple of years back, I worked as an English teacher here in Sweden, 18, 19-year-old students. I was 3 years into comedy, and one of my students said, hey, can't you bring in comedy to the class? Let's work with comedy. And I said, okay, sure. I'm not sure really how. And then I came up with an assignment called Roast Your Flaws. And all these 18, 19-year-olds, I have no flaws. Because the ego was so big, they didn't have any flaws. Except for one kid, Alex. When I said this to him, he started writing right away. And the interesting part about Alex, his background, trans boy, bullied, excluded from everything, even rejected by his own father. He was heavy in silence, but a brilliant mind. I loved working with that kid. He just wrote like crazy. And I thought to myself, I wonder what he's going to write about. I became very invested and very interested in what he had to say. Because everyone else was perfect, but Alex, he wanted to talk about his flaws. And the thing is, I told the class, just like I'm going to tell you today, it's not about standing and presenting about these things. The only requirement I had for that class was write about your flaws, say them out loud in front of the mirror, and try to joke about them. I was trying to trick them because as we say the bad thing out, it's out there. Then we can look at it and we can try and make fun of it, and it kind of lose all its power. Because when I worked with this comedy didn't change my body. I'm still the same. It changed my perspective and kind of took shame by the leash, removed it and all its power. So when Alex, presentation day, no one wanted to present except for Alex. And he said, I have one joke. I'm like, sure, tell it. He stood a little bit nervous in front of the class and he went, my dad is so bad at accepting me that he calls me by my old name, my new name, and hey you. Which is weird because hey you is my Korean friend. The whole class started to laugh. And the thing is, we didn't laugh at his pain, we laughed that he owned it. I was so proud. And then when he graduated, he left me a handwritten note. And it said that before these classes, my pain was something to hide. Now my pain is something I can hold on to and let go. So Alex didn't wait. He didn't heal first and then laugh. He laughed first so that he could heal, which is amazing. So this is why I'm telling you this is so important, because our inner child, it isn't naive. it's wise. It just wants to laugh with you. Even though you have those things, because it knows that all of you also know this thing. If you shine a light on the monsters under your bed or the skeletons in your closet, they lose all its power. So that's what I want you to do today. I want you to go home today or tomorrow. I know it's late, but not in 10 years, not in 5 years. I want you to think about that thing. I want you to stand in front of the mirror and I want you to say it out loud and try to joke about it. It doesn't have to be the best joke, just so you know that. Because as I said, if we can laugh about it, we can live it. If we can joke about it, we can survive it. If we can mock it, it cannot mock us back. And the thing is, I've also processed a lot of things. I also have things in here that I still haven't talked about. So I thought this is a prime example that I can show you how I can do this in real time. I'm going to share with you something that I haven't told a lot of people except for my wife. One of my biggest insecurities right now that I'm ashamed of are my teeth. The reason is I'm terrified of dentists. I know I share this with a lot of people, but I have such a phobia that I'm not going. I'm trying to take care of my teeth and I'm trying to do my best. But it's controlled me so hard. I've been lying. I've been skipping appointments. I've been paying penalty fees. And I don't want to live that way. I want to take control over it. So now I said it out loud. Now all of you know, and all the people viewing this online know. Oh my God. Now let me try to joke about it, okay? Because I actually went to the dentist last week. I went in, I sat down, she looked at me and said, you seem tense. I was sitting in a corner biting my nails, looking like Gollum. I'm like, no, this is a spa day for me. And then after the examination, she said, the worst part is over. And then I got the invoice. And I looked at my wife and I said, do I really need teeth? So healing doesn't take time. It takes courage and a really bad punchline. My name is Thomas Kaminski. Thank you so much for listening.